Students, uh, welcome to this new class. So you all are expecting for a new chapter, and the chapter is ratio and proportion, because basically this is the chapter that you will learn in this class 6, which will be new. But before we go into this ratio and proportion, we must know some basic things. Okay, so proportion, we must know some basic things. What is ratio, what is proportion? But to know what is ratio and what is proportion, I realize that you must know something, and that is fraction. Now you have learned already the fraction in your class 5 and class 4 also. So what I will do, basically I will just little bit remember, I just little bit tell about the basics of fractions, so that you can remember, you can recall all the previous learnings that you have learned about this stuff. And before we know about fraction, it is also very much necessary to know about your what is called factorization. We will come to these things later on again when we will solve some challenging problems regarding factorization. But little bit I should tell you. So let's say we have any number 24, and we have the ways of factorizing. This is the division method which I am doing right now. So what I have to do, something we are doing that is called prime factorization. So what is my prime factorization? Prime, that means I have to use only prime number to factorize. So we know that the prime numbers are as follows, that is my 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, and then you have 11, 13, and so on. So basically my first try will be this few numbers. So 24, so it is divisible by 2, so the result will come 12. Again it is divisible by 2, the result will come 6. Again it is divisible by 2, and the result is 3, and 3 is divisible by 3, and we have 1 here. So these terms are called factors. So these terms which you are getting are called factors. These factors are the number that usually make the number. So 24 I can write like this, that 24 is equal to 2 into 2 into 2 into 3. So when you multiply all of the factors, you will get the original numbers. So why it is very much needed to know the factors? Because whenever we are dividing, whenever we are splitting any number, we must factorize and write the splitted number. So 24 I can write 2 into 2 into 2 into 3 instead of 24 whenever it is needed. Now also one more thing is very important for us, that is to find out HCF and to find out LCM. So I'm coming little bit about HCF. The full form is highest common, C for common, F for factor. So look at the terms. Highest common factor. We know that what are the factors. Common means which is basically similar in both cases, more of some of the cases. And highest, basically that means the highest maximum number. So let us say we have two numbers, one is our 12, one is our 24. and I want to find out what is the highest common factor of it. So what is my first thing to do? The first thing, I have to factorize. So if I use factorizing, like prime factorization in the division method, I can write like this. So I'm dividing 12 by 2, I'll get 6. I'm dividing 6 by 2, I'll get 3. I'm dividing 3 by 3, that is 1. 24, again 2, 12, 2, 6, 2, 3, 3, 1. Now I have to note down what are the common in this. So factors is done, that I have already gathered what are the factors. Now I have to find the common one. So let me find out the common one. So you can see that this 2 and here 1 2 is common. Here another 2 and here another 2 is common. Here 1 3 is there, also here is another 3. So this 2 is left over in the right hand side. Okay, so these things are common. So what are the common things I have to list out at first. So let me list out what are the common things. The common things are 2, another 2, another 3. So these are the common things, right? Now if I want to find out HCF, that is the highest common thing, so see what I will do, I will multiply all my common factors. So instead of comma, I will multiply them. So what are the numbers I will get? That is 12. So 12 is the highest common factor. So that means 12 I can write 12 into 1, and 24 I can write 12 into 2. So you can see that 12 is common in both of these cases, and 12 is the highest common factor. So no other factor can be greater than this. Okay, so this is basically the way of doing highest common factor, to find out highest common factor. Some people used to do in different method, but this is the easiest one to do. One more term will come to you, and that will be also very important in your study, that is LCM. The full form is lowest common multiple. Now before we go into this, we must know what is multiple, because we have learned about factors. So what is the multiple? Multiple means the table. That means if you have 5, and if I ask you to find the multiple of 5, then what you have to do, you have to write the table of 5. That is 5 into 1, that is 5, 5 into 2, that is 10, 5 into 3, that is 15, 5 into 4, that is 20. These all are the common factors, common multiple. So 10 means 5 into 2, 5 into 3, 5 into 4. Now if I give you another number, that is 4, and if I tell you to find the multiple of 4, so you have to write again the table of 4. That is 4 into 1 4, 4 into 2, that is 8. So I'm writing 8 here. So that is 4 into 2. Then 4 into 3 12. So I'll write 4 into 3, 4 into 4 16, 4 into 4, and 4 5s are 25. 20. Sometimes I am also doing mistakes. Okay, so these are the, so I am again noting what are this. So these are the multiple of 5. Okay, so this one is the first multiple of 5, this one is the second multiple of 5, this one is the third multiple of 5 in this case. Okay, but basically we can take 5 as also the multiple of 5. So the things will be like this: if 5 is the first multiple, if we take, so So that in that case it will be the first multiple, it will be the second multiple, it will be the third multiple, it will be the fourth multiple, if you take 5 as the first multiple. Okay. Similarly, this is the fourth multiple. So these are the multiple of 4. So basically this will be my first multiple of 4, second multiple of 4, third multiple of 4, fourth multiple of 4, and fifth multiple of 4. Now if I ask you to find out what is the common multiple, so you can see that this number 20 is common not only for, is coming not only for 5 but also for 4. And you can see that coming from the first multiple, there is no other number which is matching. So this is the lowest, right? So now see why I'm telling lowest, because again if you continue this series, somewhere you will also find you will also get 5 into 8, that is 40. Here also you will get, if you continue this fourth table, so you will get 4 into 10 equal to 40. So you can see that 40 is also common multiple, because in the both of their tables 40 is also coming, but this 20 has come first. So this is the lowest one. So that's why 20 will be LCM of 4 and 5. So that means what is the lowest common multiple, how to get that, what you have to do, you have to either write like this, you can then find out, or what you can do, the simple systematic procedure is this. Let's say the same I have 12 and I have 16. Okay, and let us find out what is the common multiple. So again you have to do prime factorization at first. So what you will do, you will just factorize 2, 6, because 6 2s are 12. Again divide 6 by 2, you will get 3. Divide 3 by 3, 1. 2, this will be 8. 2, this will be 4. And 2, this will be 2. So 2, this will be 1. So now let's see what are the common things. So you can see that 2, this 2 is common, this 2 and this 2 is common, this 3 is not common. Okay, so only this much is common. So what I will do, how to find LCM, so let me write LCM. So first of all what you will do, take common, means if you have one number more than one time, if you have any number more than one time, write only one time. So this 2 and this 2 also, there we will have one more 2. And what is the rest of your number, you just write them and multiply. So what will be your result, that will be your answer. So 2 2s are 4, 4 3s are 12, 12 2s are 24, 24 2s are 48. So you can see that this 48 will come in both of their table. So let us see 12 and 16. 12 1s are 12, 12 2s are 24, 12 3s are 36, 12 4s are 48. So it's coming. 16 2s are 32, 16 3s are 48. So it's coming in the both of their table, and there is no other number which is common before 48. So this is the lowest common multiple. But to find this, it's the easiest way is to do like this. Okay, so this is basically about lowest common multiple. Now why we are learning this thing? Now you can remember I told you that we are just trying to recall fraction. We know that if we have a pizza and if I divide the pizza into 4 pieces, so I will have 4 pieces out of 1 pizza. So if I take only one part of the pizza, so that will be one part out of total 4 parts, right? So that's why we need fraction for understanding the distribution of objects or any work or some quantities. So this term, which is upside, is called numerator, and this side, which is down, this is called denominator. It's not fitting here somewhere. So this is called denominator. I'm writing this nicely so that later on you don't be confused. This is denominator, and that is numerator. So usually denominator represent the total. See here, we have 4 pieces of this pizza, so I have written 4 downside. So denominator will always represent the total, and this one, numerator, will represent your selection. Okay, so this will represent your selection. Fine. Acha. Now this fraction tells us about what is the portion you have taken. What is the portion means, like in this case you have 4 pieces. Out of 4 pieces you have taken 1. Another example, let's say you are working, okay, and you have a you have a drawing sheet like that, you have some boxes like that, and you are trying to color all the boxes. Okay, let's say you are making any chessboard. So here we can see that 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 pieces are there in total. Now if you color 3 of it, so if you color 3 of it, like this one, and this one, if you color 3 of it, so in that case 3 will be your selection. So you have colored, that means 3 by 12 portion of it. Okay, that means 3 by 12, that means you are comparing, this term represents that you are comparing your selection with respect to how much you have in total. So let's say somebody has done 3 by 12 and somebody else has colored 4 pieces, 1 2 3 4. So in that case you can see that 4 by 12 somebody has done, whereas somebody has done 3 by 12. So this portion is much higher. So with respect to 12 he has done 4 pieces. With respect to 12 here he has done only 3 pieces. That means he has done more work than this. So in this case it is very easy to understand what is happening, but some places you will find some difficulties. Like, see, let's say you have two friends are there and both are having different situations here. One of the friends is having a sheet like this, and there we have 4 parts, 1 2 3 4, and some other friend, he is having, let's say, 8 pieces. So it is B number friend is having 8 pieces, A number friend is having total 4 pieces. So now if you do in this case, let's say you have done in this case two color, that means you have colored 2 of the portions here, and in B number case that friend has done 4 pieces color. Now if you want to compare your work with his work, you have to be very you have to be very unbiased. That means you have to always remember that you have 4 pieces whereas he was having 8 pieces. So what you have to do, you have to you have to make your case similar to that of the case. That means you have to create your own case, you have to modify your case in such a manner so that it will be equivalent to the case like this. That means for P. So if you draw 2 of the pieces, so your selection is 2. That means you have done 2 out of 4 pieces. Whereas in this case he has done 4 out of 8 cases. So how to compare them? That means you have to think that if you had this kind of scenario, that means if you would have this kind of 4 pieces, like 8 pieces, what you would have been done. So that means your case, like that was 2 by 4, and his case, that is 4 by 8, has to be compared nicely. So in that case your total has to be changed. Your total has to be same as his total, then only you can compare. Now why I am telling that? Why? Because say it's a very let's talk about a very easy situation. Let's say you have you have a very small knife and somebody is having a very big knife. Now you are like you also and that friend also are given with some potatoes to peel. Now you are also peeling the potatoes and he is also peeling the potatoes. Now as you have a small knife, you can peel, let's say in 5 minutes, only 10 potatoes, and he can peel, let's say for in 5 minutes 15 potato, because he is having a bigger knife, so it is very easy for him to do the job. So you cannot compare your ability with his ability. When you can compare? When your knife and his knife is same in the size. So in the same thing we are doing in case of math, we are going to change our total, okay, so that we can compare. So that means this 4 you can see here, we will make this 4 equivalent to this one. Now we know that 4 we can make 8 easily, right? So we can multiply 2 down and we have to multiply 2 up. Now why we are multiplying 2 down and 2 up? Because to make the balance of this fraction. Now this thing we will again talk how to do this, like why we have to multiply the same thing up and down. Why we will learn this thing later. Okay, for now just know this much, whenever we are multiplying or dividing anything down, we have to do the same thing in the upside to make the fraction same, otherwise the fraction will change. Why? Let's see little bit. Okay, let's say you have 2 by 4, that means in that case only, let's say in that case only you have that box, that means you have colored 2 portions, right? Now if I multiply 2 here, so my fraction will be 2 by 8. So that means you have a board like this, you have 8 pieces and then only 2 you have done. So you tell me that is it possible, like is it seem that you have done the same, you have given the same contribution in both cases? Here you have 8 let's say like work to do, and only 2 you have done, and here you have 4 work to do and only 2 you have done. That means half of the work, half of your job you have done. So have you done the same contribution? No. So that's why when it will be same, when you will have here something like this, that means here also half of your, see, this is the total one and half of the portion you have done. Here also this is the total one, half of the portion you have done. So that means you have to multiply 2 upside also. So that's why you have to multiply same thing up and down whenever you are like trying to change your fraction. Okay. So what we will have here, so we will have here 4 by 8, and it is also 4 by 8. So I can say that both of you have done same contribution. But let's say this is not the scenario and you have something like this. Let's say you have this thing like previous, like the same thing like before, that is 2 portions you have colored out of 4 portions, and somebody is having something different. Somebody is having, let's say 6 portions, and out of the 6 portions he has done only 2 portions, so 2 by 6. So by looking at it, you can say that you are comparing your thing with his thing. So the total, that means the total of both cases has to be same. But I know that 4 cannot be 6 and 6 cannot be 4. So I need something common in both of them so that I can make the total same. So that's why what we do, we find out LCM of the numbers, because LCM means that numbers will come for 6 also and that numbers will come for 4 also. So if we find the LCM of those numbers, we can see that factorization of these 2 numbers will give us like this, something like this. So 2 and 2 is common here, so only 1 will come. Then rest of the terms I will write as it is. So I can see that 12 is my LCM. So with 6 I can make 12 and with 4 I can make 12. So what I will do, I will multiply here 3 to make it 12. But to keep the balance I have to multiply upside also, same thing. So this is 6 by 12, and this I will again multiply 2 down and I will multiply 2 up. So I will have that is equal to 4 by 12. Now you can see that if the situation was that both of them were having 12 section to color, so the first person, that means A person, has done 6 of it. That means the A person would have done 6 of it out of 12, whereas number B would have done only 4 of it out of 12 boxes. So that means number A has done more work than B. So that is why we use basically fraction to compare stuffs, and ratio is something like that. Now for today's class we have to understand this fraction very nicely because this is the concept. Okay, this is the idea behind fraction. Why we use fraction? We use fraction to compare stuffs with the total amount of quantity that we have with our selection. So we are comparing our selection or with the total of what we have. Okay, in case of fraction. Now fraction is having some kind of operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, etc. But before we go into ratio, we must practice these things. So first thing is the addition. So how to do the addition of fraction? So I will just tell you little bit, and then in the next class we will practice nicely. Like if we have these two fractions all together and we have to add them, the first thing is that you have to make the LCM same, sorry, the denominator same. So how to make the denominator same? By finding out the LCM. So if to finding out the LCM, we have to do like this. That means we have to factorize. So my LCM will be, obviously this 3 and 3 is common. 3 is coming one time, because I told you if something is common it will come only one time, and this 3 is left behind, so it is coming like 9. So that means 9 is my LCM, but this term is already 9, so I don't have to do anything with this term. What I have to do, I have to change this term. So I will multiply 3 up and 3 down to make the downside 9, because if you don't make these two fraction same or equivalent, you cannot add them, because I told you fraction means comparison. But if we don't make the situation same for the both cases, you cannot compare them or add them or do whatever you want. Okay, so now you can do it. It is 6, this is 9 plus 3 by 9, so you can tell that this will be 6 plus 3, just a minute, so this will be 6 plus 3 by 9, that is 9 by 9. Now this by means is actually division. Okay, so that means 9 divided by 9, so this means 9 divided by 9, and which is basically 1. So the result of this addition is 1. Okay, now coming for the subtraction, the basically all the ideas are same, but in case of subtraction, instead of this plus there will be minus, and all of these things will change like subtraction. So this will be 3 by 9 in the result. Okay, and the answer will be like this, not like this much. Okay, in case of subtraction. So basically we will do also something like this, that is our multiplication. So if you have something like this, how to do this? The first thing what you will do, you have to split the terms. So instead of 9, I can always write 3 into 3. So in the position of 9, I have to write 3 into 3. In the position of 12, I can write 2 into 2 into 3. You can say how sir you have written. Now you can directly factorize them to find out what are the component it is having. So I have written those component here. So you can factorize and directly put the things there. Now so how to do now? The next part is this much. 6 I can write 3 into 2, and then you can directly cancel like this, because 2 divided by 2 is 1, so we don't divide like that, we directly can cancel it. So we can cancel like this, we can cancel like this. So I will get finally 2 is left upside as in numerator, and 3 is left in the denominator. So the result is this much. So these are some basic stuffs. Actually today's idea for the class was there, that key to make you understand that fraction is taken for comparison, and we have also little bit talk about the LCM and prime factorization, so that you can remember all those old stuff. Okay, so today's class is this much. I will give some assignment so that you can practice all your fraction maths, and in the next class we will also talk about a little bit about fraction, more about it, some word problems. Then we will go in the ratio, because without fraction it is not possible to understand ratio. So bye for today, and wait for my next class.